Elena here from Riverview Gardens and Gifts, and today I'm going to do a video to teach you how to do our adventure challenge for this week. So for this week, our adventure challenge is making flower crowns. So this is a really special challenge for me because I've been making these flower crowns since I was a very little girl, because my grandmother taught me how to do this. So my grandparents on my father's side immigrated from Latvia after World War II, and Latvia is a small country in Eastern Europe, and they're like nature children, all of the Latvians. They're very, very in touch with the land, and they celebrate, specifically, they have a huge festival on the summer solstice every year, where everybody wears these crowns made from nature. So the women wear these beautiful flower crowns crafted from whatever they can pick in their surroundings, and the men wear these crowns made out of leaves, specifically oak leaves. So they have these like wonderful big thick crowns of oak leaves. So you can choose, you can do flowers, you can do oak leaves, you can do a mixture of the two, but I'm going to show you how to do this just from things with nature, and the way that I was taught by my grandmother. So this one I just made, and I'm going to show you at the end how to attach the ends, but let's start with how to begin with your flower crown. So what I always like to start with is I start with white clover. At this time of the year, and then moving into June, white clover is really, really abundant, which is why I prefer it as the base for my flower crown, because you can usually find a ginormous patch of white clover and make multiple crowns from it. The other benefit is they usually have a nice long stem, and the stem is really flexible. So any flowers that you use in your flower crown have to have this flexible stem. If you try to loop it and it doesn't stay as a loop, if it breaks and bends instead, it's not going to work very well for your flower crown because of how it's made. So, getting in close here, you start with 2 clovers. It's going to fly on my arm. And you're going to start by holding one straight out like this. This is your first base clover. And then you're going to place the other clover in an X up against that first one. Then I hold that against it with my 2 fingers, and I take the stem, I loop it around and between the 2 flowers, like so. And it comes through, I loop it really tight, and then bring it back in line with the stem and hold them together like this. So you can see that this flower is looped around itself, and now I'm holding those 2 stems together. Okay, so then when I put another flower on, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So the next flower is going to just go next to that one. I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to loop it around and through. See how it's going through those 2 flowers? And then back to join these other stems. Let's do another one. Can you see that pretty well? So now I have a little daisy that I found. I'm going to put that daisy on, again, loop it around, back between the pink clover and the daisy, and hold it. You can see that it starts to build a chain this way. And you're just going to continue very patiently, picking flowers, looping them together and holding the stem. Now you really have to hold this stem the whole time you're building. Like even if you're going to go off and find new flowers, you really have to hold this together, because if you let this go, it'll all unravel. Again, put another one on, and another, and you can see how this can very, very quickly turn into a long chain. See? So now here, I did this before we got started. I have a very long chain that is ready to be made into a crown, right? So the only thing that's left to do at this point is to attach the 2 ends. So for this, you can use more clover, or you can find a piece of really flexible grass or something that's really, really strong to help you build a knot. So, all right, so now we're going to learn how to attach the 2 ends of your long chain of flowers together to create a crown. So what I do here is I first just line them up. So I've got the end here and my end here. So I'm just going to line them up together and kind of hold them together with my fingers to start, and then we need to just attach these 2 together. So I typically use the same process that we've used all along to attach them, but I just weave the ends of the flower back into the other loops that are here. So I can start with a clover, got my ends here. And what I can do is I can place it along this chain, weave it around, right? And then I can actually weave those ends through, can you see that? Through the other loops of the chain. And that effectively ties, or begins to tie, the two ends together. One will not do it. You have to do this multiple times. So then here I've got another one, so I'm going to move down a little bit. Do it here. And then see, I'm going to just weave that end in. Can you see that? Pull it tight, and then just keep weaving it through. And if it's really long, you can cut it off at the end if you don't want to keep going. So I've got two now. I'm going to move up the chain a little bit because you can see this is still detached. Loop it around and thread it through. Oh, hair's caught. Oh my goodness. It really does. It really does catch things. Okay, and another. See, I've still got a little end here. So put that together. Add a clover. Loop it around. And start threading it through. I've got a thread there. It's not the easiest part of the whole process. It takes a lot of patience. The more little flowers that you can add to the ends here, the stronger your flower crown is going to be. It can come apart with time as you're running around playing in it, but that's okay. You can always make another one. So add one more here, loop it around. You can also use a little bit of grass. So when I was a kid, I discovered that if I found some really flexible, strong grass pieces, that I could create some knots with those as well. So I'll show you that. So here I have a little bit of just a flexible grass. So you can also try, creating oh, that one broke. That one wasn't quite as strong enough. You can sometimes knot it with some grass and then thread the ends of the grass through. So experiment with it, keep trying, adding different materials to tie it off at the end. But even if you're just using clover to tie the ends, you can get a pretty strong flower crown. See? If that gets too frustrating, you can grab just a little bit of string or twine from inside of your house to tie the ends off. Some people really like to use ribbon to tie the ends, because then when they put it on, they have this flowing ribbon down the back of their head. But yeah, there's my flower crown. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this week's challenge. And please, as always, take pictures of what you've created, wearing your flower crowns or your leaf crowns, and share them in the Facebook group. Thanks so much. Bye.